Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great day so far and that you're doing well. For this video, we'll be going through a contents review of the mobile Sumo from Tournai Gundam, released by Bandai back in 1999. So this will be a bit of a tangent review. There is madness. There's madness. Yes, there's always madness. There's purpose to the madness, which will become known in the future. But I thought I would quickly get this video out of the way because one, I had to grab some stuff out of storage, and two, the Sumo was actually something I stumbled upon and remembered about. Now, in terms of acquiring a mobile Sumo, I grabbed mine from HobbyLink Japan many moons ago, to the point I searched my email, saw the order. It's been in the backlog for a while, but I will put in a link in the description as to how you can at least put a back order in for it. It's not currently in stock. But patience is a virtue, so if it's something that strikes your fancy, feel free to at least put an order in. It'll get filled when it gets filled, but at least you can have some level of assurance that you'll get one at a reasonable price. So, the mobile Sumo. So this is the silver version. There is another version which is in gold. But I will admit I actually prefer the silver over the gold. Being a contents review, there is no box. Well, there is the box, but it's been flat packed and will forever stay that way probably. So I'll just go through what would have been inside the box. So, mobile Sumo, instruction booklets, good typical 1 to 144 high grade scale. Even though it's 2 decades old now, it's not a fantastic kit, I'll give it that much. But it's not terrible. It's aligned to what you would expect for the late 90s. So because that would have been the era of let me think. Would have been Tournai, the original Wing, Gundam X, and there was a few others around that general time frame. Once again, they're not bad, but if you compare them against the current stuff, they've definitely not aged well. So, here is the booklet with the completed Sumo on the front. This has most likely been professionally done up, paint and all. You've got some information about the Sumo here on the left, reminiscent of high grade manuals. And I also realized this design reminds me, oddly enough, a lot of the I really should have looked this up because this is actually the second time I'm doing this video. I want to say the High Mock from Build Fighters, but I could be wrong if it's the High Mock. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So there's the front, there is the back. I should probably be a little less violent with the table. Various poses. So we've got a back shot of the Sumo, and then some of its accessories. Probably some form of beam weapon. Well, yeah, it's a beam weapon. A beam sword or something of that description. A rifle, and I suspect that might be a forearm shield. And down here we have the color guide, which at the time was obviously all purely in Japanese. So it would have silver, red, maybe, I'll say maybe charcoal, because I don't think it's black, but it's something of that spectrum. That nice shadow grey that comes through in a few places, yellow, and I'm assuming that's supposed to be metallic purple. pretty cool. So that's the front and back. If we open up inside, there is this little section about additional information about the Sumo and its spec, its pilot, but as I said earlier, this was well and truly in the days when everything was in Japanese and didn't cater to the English markets. Before we get too much further, parts list, which has been around for as long as I can remember. So there will be a polycap, I'll say 3 A runners, although one of them is literally a single piece, and 2 B runners. In terms of the build, it's pretty straightforward. Arms, legs, head, torso, put them together, the end. Obviously the head and torso builds are not the most intricate, but once again, this was 1999. That was a while ago. And over here we have the final build, how to attach the accessories. Most of the sticker sheet will be for the main torso of the Sumo. Okay, so that's the instruction manual. Put that to the side ever so quickly. So, foil stickers. So the ones in red at the top are predominantly the torso. The one at the bottom for the head, face, visor, eyes, whatever they wish to be labelled as. I have to double check because I know Sid made, I think he did Turn A and Turn X in terms of designs. I don't know if he went as far as all the Turn A mobile suits, but because I do remember doing the A and the X some time ago. I should really actually do a proper showcase of those because I didn't do that at the time, so this could prompt that. Okay, here we have the A runners all in the one color. It's some type of injection silver, which surprisingly isn't too bad. I think Bandai do better at their silvers than they do their golds, but you can see, especially with this piece here, you can see the swirling of the silver as it has been injected through. So it's quite prominent on all the pieces, which is unfortunate, but Bandai have gone a long way since, in the span of 2 years. I think this probably would have been before they started doing plating instead of injection. But looking at the runner, so A1, torso, probably waist, shoulders and legs, I would imagine. For A2, probably the bottom of the legs, bottom of the arms, and A4, no idea. But there you go. I will admit, for a pre-colored plastic, it's, as I said, it's not too bad. If you don't mind some of the imperfections in the plastic. So those were the A runners. Now to look at the 2 B runners. So B1 and B2, much like the A runners, are all in a single color. It's that, it's not a grey, but it's not a blue. I almost want to say it's a dark shadow grey, but that will only get me so far. So this will probably be more of your accessories and joints. So here are the hands, I know that much. The shield, I don't recall what those were from because I wasn't paying attention, to be honest. Well, it's not too bad. And then B2 is basically your rifle and the close combat weapon. I'll leave it at the generic title as close combat weapon, without knowing specifically what type of weapon it is. So those are the two B runners in that shade of color that I will one day figure out. And lastly, the polycap. So what is this one? Polycap 115. I'd imagine this is well and truly out of circulation by now, especially given that these are polycap hands. But as with all polycaps, especially for the time, these would be a lot of your joint connections, and this is in your typical grey. So there we have it, the silver mobile Sumo. As I said at the beginning of the video, there is purpose to the madness, so stay tuned. This will come back in some shape or form in the near future. As I also said at the beginning of the video, I will pop a link to HobbyLink Japan. If you do wish to have a look at this, and given that I'm doing the recording right now and I haven't obviously processed the video, I might even try to see if I can grab some of the rest of the Turn A high grade kits as well, as a link as well, just in case you're curious and wanted to have a look, keeping in mind that there is a more recent version of the Turn A Gundam itself. Yes, it's an acquired taste, and I will admit I wasn't a huge fan initially, but I think, especially after Sid Mead passed away, it's interesting what happens in terms of appreciation of things when creators, etc., have shed their mortal form. But I think now, especially now that I'm definitely older, I do feel I do appreciate it a lot more. Anyway, that's that. Thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to like, leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell as well if you want to stay up to date for upcoming releases. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, and a link towards that will be in the description below. Thanks again for your support to help grow this channel. Stay safe and take care, and I will see you all in the next not so cryptic video. See ya.